Hi guys, today we're going to chat a little bit about the dingle dangles. This is a product that us rock and surf anglers in South Africa use a lot. It's something we started using a few years ago and it's really changed the way we fish our rock and surf fishing. Unfortunately, these prepared dingle dangles are only available in Africa, and I'm getting a lot of my international viewers asking us what's the purpose of it, how does it work, and how can we make our own, because you can't find this in the States. So I'm just going to show you guys a quick easy way to make them. So if you can't get hold of this and you're not in Africa, just show you how to make them. It's very easy, and then you can apply them in your country where you're fishing. Alright, so we've got the two types of dingles. Obviously the first one is the one with a flotation on it, where you can build a bait around it. And then we've got the second type, which is just straight wire, which we use more to put through bait heads, like a mackerel head, push it through the head, and then use the dingle to cast that bait further. Alright, so the first one I'm going to show you guys is a straight little dingle, the one without any flotation on it. This specific one I also make myself. I like to make this one when I'm fishing for fish that are quite sensitive to wire, something like rays, smaller rays, edible fish. So I actually make mine out of quite a soft 60-pound nylon coated wire. It's exactly the same principle as the harder one, but I'm just going to show you guys how I make it. And even within the South African application, when you're fishing for edible fish and you're scared of that hard solid wire, this little soft wire works very well. When the fish grabs your bait, you can't feel that wire and you'll feed like normal. Alright, so all you need to make these little dingles is some nylon coated or carbon coated wire. I use a 60-pound, nice and thin and soft and pliable. A small little washer, it's like 8 millimeters in diameter, with quite a nice big hole on the inside. I use stainless steel so it doesn't rust. Alright, and then I also use these little brass sleeves, quite a big one, because the wire is going to need their double, so it mustn't be too thin, so you can put two wires in there to make it all dingle. Alright, so that's all you need, a pair of pliers and side cutters with that, and I'll show you guys how I make this. Alright, so the first thing I do, I grab a piece of this carbon coated or nylon coated steel. And I want to attach this to my little washer. Alright, so I just attached this nylon coated steel to that washer just by using a normal figure of 8 knot. So I grab my pliers to pull that figure of 8 knot closed, and then slip it down to the washer. And then we just cut that tag end off. Alright, so on the other end I just make a loop, and that's where my little sleeve comes in. Alright, so I put the sleeve over the wire, and what you want to do then is determine how long you want your dingle. The length, obviously, it depends on how big you want to make your bait. So for this one, we'll just make it an average length. Take the other end and push it through the sleeve again, so you're making this loop. I'll just grab my side cutters and I'll just pinch that sleeve onto the wire so it can't move. And then we've got this tag in, cut that off. Alright, and that's our little soft dingle made, and see it's nice and soft. If a fish grabs it, he won't feel it in his mouth, it won't put him off from continuing to eat the bait, and I said very simple and works like a bomb. Alright guys, so that's our dingle made, and let me just show you guys how to rig it, and then I'm also going to explain to you what the purpose of this whole dingle is. Right, I'm going to clear the bait box, get all this stuff off, put it one side. Alright, so let me show you guys how we rig this up. So we've got our old dingle here, and a very important part is to measure where you actually want to cut your bait off, like this mackerel head. So you obviously build your dingle according to how big you want your bait, and what I like to do is cut my bait off approximately 1 centimeter to 1.5 centimeters before the washer. That's where your sinker is going to clip onto, and if you make that too long, your bait's not going to fly through the air very nicely. So like 1 centimeter, 1.5 centimeters to the washer, you mark it, and then you cut your bait there. So I cut the bait off, put this one side, and as you can see, that's going to be sort of where the dingle is going to sit in the bait over there. Alright, so I'm just going to rig this plain mackerel head. Now obviously you can rig it like this and cast it as it is, but I personally don't like doing it because it's not very aerodynamic the way it is like this. It's going to fly through the air this way around. Your sinker is going to pull here, so it's going to fly this way around. So you got this flat base here which got a lot of wind resistance. So if I throw a head only, I actually like to work this flat edge off just to give it a bit of shape, so when it flies through the air it's got a lot of aerodynamics and you get more distance. So I just take my knife, very simple, and I just go around the head like that and just shape it. Okay, so it's as simple as that. You've taken that flat edge off, now it's got a nice shape and it'll fly through the air nicely. Alright, so now we're ready to attach our dingle. I take my mackerel head. You've got a thing called a bait needle. It's a very simple little thing. I make my own. You can actually buy them, but I keep on losing them, so I just make my own. And the purpose of this bait needle is just to pull through your dingle after you attach it. I'll show you guys how it works now. So the bait needle, you take through the mouth, push it through your mackerel head, make sure it's nice in the middle, and as you can see there, it comes out in the center. The next step is to take our dingle, the little soft loop we made, with the one we crimped with a sleeve on, clip that onto our bait needle like that, and then put it through the head. Unclip that. So there's our dingle going through with a wash at the end, and this is where you just grab your hook and you just put your hook through the bottom lip, through the loop of the dingle, and through the top lip of your bait. Go through the bottom lip, through the dingle, and then again through the top lip of our mackerel, like that. And what I like to do, just to check that I made sure I caught the loop, is just to pull the dingle. I can feel it's in the hook, so it's not going to come out when I cast. And that's how simple it is. Then you can cotton up a little bit. I like to put a bit of cotton around the mouth so it stays nice and closed and firm on the shank of the hook. You can cotton up the gills a little bit if you think they're going to flare open when you cast. And that's it. That's how simple this works. Your sinker, the clip on your sinker clips in there, so your sinker hangs nice and in the center of your bait. So the purpose of this whole dingle, number one, is casting distance. So you're building a nice aerodynamic bait. Your sinker is hanging in the center of the bait. So when you're casting and your sinker flies through the air, everything travels in a straight line. So the bait doesn't whir through the air, there's less wind resistance, and this is all about distance. So that is the first purpose for me of the dingle. My second purpose of the dingle is to have your circle hook nice and proud when you're hooking a bait like this. So now you've got the circle hook just through the lips of this mackerel, but you've got your dingle assisting you to hold everything together. So if you only had it through the lips of the mackerel, there's a chance that when you cast it, the mackerel would tear off. So now you've got the dingle assisting you to keep everything together. So that's the purpose of a dingle. It's something we all use these days in our fishing, and it works like a bomb. It's a very simple thing that really improves your fishing and improves your casting distance.